There exists a key that unlocks everything. Wealth, power, influence, freedom, success, everything you've ever wanted exists behind a single door, and only a few people know where that door is. The universal key. This isn't about motivation. This isn't about working harder or thinking positive. This is about a fundamental truth so powerful that once you possess it, you become unstoppable. Dangerous, even. You will become too powerful. That's not hype. That's a warning. Because the people who discover this key transform so completely, so rapidly, that the world around them struggles to keep up. Right now, you're locked out of the life you were meant to live. Not because you're not capable, not because you're not worthy, but because no one gave you the key. In the next 25 minutes, everything changes. I'm going to hand you the universal key, the one key that opens every door, the one truth that solves every problem, the one principle that creates every breakthrough. Only a few people know this. Today, you become one of them. But I have to warn you, once you use this key, there's no going back. You will become too powerful. Let me show you something that will change how you see reality forever. Right now, you're standing in front of 1,000 locked doors. The door to financial freedom, the door to perfect health, the door to deep relationships, the door to inner peace, the door to unlimited creativity. Every single thing you want exists behind one of these doors. And you've been running around desperately trying different keys. You try positive thinking. That opens one door but leaves 999 locked. You try hard work. That opens another door, but you're exhausted and still locked out of everything else. You try manifestation techniques, success strategies, productivity hacks, mindset shifts. Each opens a door or two, but you're still standing in front of hundreds of locked doors, feeling frustrated, confused, wondering why nothing seems to work completely. Here's what no one told you. You don't need 1,000 keys. You need one key. The universal key. One key that opens every single door. One principle that solves every single problem. One truth that creates every single breakthrough. For thousands of years, this key has been hidden in plain sight. The greatest minds throughout history discovered it. Buddha found it and achieved enlightenment. Jesus taught it in parables. Socrates explored it through questions. Marcus Aurelius applied it to rule an empire. Every master, every sage, every genius throughout history possessed this same key. And they all became too powerful. Today, I'm handing you that key. Not as a metaphor, as a practical tool you can use immediately to unlock any area of your life. But understand this. This key comes with a responsibility. Because once you possess it, once you truly understand how to use it, you will become more powerful than you ever imagined. Your relationships will transform. Your finances will explode. Your health will optimize. Your creativity will flow. Your purpose will become crystal clear. You will become the person everyone else looks at and wonders, what do they know that I don't? This is what they know. The universal key. Are you ready to become too powerful? Part 1. The key revealed. The universal key is this. Everything is consciousness in a vast kingdom. There lived a master locksmith who could open any door, crack any safe, bypass any security. People traveled from distant lands to learn his secret. They expected complex techniques, sophisticated tools, hidden methods. Instead, he told them something that seemed too simple to be true. Every lock, he said, was created by a consciousness. A mind designed it. A mind built it. A mind decided what would open it. Therefore, to open any lock, you don't need to overpower it. You need to understand the consciousness that created it. You need to think like the mind that designed it. And when you do, every lock opens effortlessly. The students were confused. That's too simple. There must be more, the master smiled. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Every problem you face, every obstacle in your way, every locked door in your life was created by consciousness. Your financial problems? Created by the consciousness of scarcity. Your relationship problems? Created by the consciousness of separation. Your health problems? Created by the consciousness of resistance. Your success problems? Created by the consciousness of limitation. Everything is consciousness. And consciousness can be changed. This is the universal key. When you understand that everything in your reality is a manifestation of consciousness, yours or someone else's, you gain the power to change anything. Let me prove it to you. Your body is consciousness. Every cell responds to your thoughts. Science calls it psychoneuroimmunology. Your thoughts create chemical reactions that affect your health. When you think stress, your body produces cortisol. When you think peace, your body produces serotonin. Your health is a direct manifestation of your consciousness. Your relationships are consciousness. The quality of your connections reflects the quality of your inner world. When you're at peace within yourself, peaceful people appear in your life. When you're in conflict with yourself, conflicted relationships manifest. Your relationships mirror your consciousness. Your finances are consciousness. Money is a symbol, a representation of value. And value is created by consciousness. Your income reflects your sense of self-worth. Your expenses reflect your priorities. Your investments reflect your beliefs about the future. Your money is a perfect manifestation of your financial consciousness. Your circumstances are consciousness. Everything you see around you, your environment, your opportunities, your challenges, all of it emerged from someone's consciousness at some point. And if consciousness created it, consciousness can change it. This is the key. This is the truth that makes you too powerful. Because once you realize that everything is consciousness, you realize you have the power to change everything by changing your consciousness. The first door, changing your financial consciousness. Let's start with money, because that's what most people want to unlock first. Right now, you have a specific financial consciousness. It's the sum total of every belief, thought, and feeling you have about money. This consciousness is creating your current financial reality with perfect precision. If you're struggling financially, you have a consciousness of financial struggle. If you're comfortable but not wealthy, you have a consciousness of financial comfort. If you're wealthy, you have a consciousness of abundance. The universal key reveals this truth. Change your financial consciousness, and your financial reality must change. Not might change, must change, because everything is consciousness. Here's how you do it. First, identify your current financial consciousness. Complete these sentences honestly. Money is blank. I deserve blank. Wealth means blank. Rich people are blank. My financial future is blank. Whatever you wrote reveals your current financial consciousness, and that consciousness is creating your current financial reality. Second, design your desired financial consciousness. What would a wealthy person's answers be? Money is a tool for creating value. I deserve unlimited abundance. Wealth means freedom and impact. Rich people are resourceful and generous. My financial future is exponentially abundant. Third, install the new consciousness. This isn't about repeating affirmations you don't believe. This is about actually shifting your consciousness. Here's the technique. Every morning for 30 days, sit quietly and imagine you already have your desired financial reality. Don't visualize it as something you want. Experience it as something you have. Feel the security. Feel the freedom. Feel the abundance. Feel it so completely that your consciousness actually believes it's real. Because here's the secret. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real experience. When you feel wealthy consistently, your consciousness becomes a consciousness of wealth, and your reality must mirror that consciousness. This is the universal key, opening the door to financial abundance. The second door, changing your relationship consciousness. You have a relationship consciousness right now. It's creating the quality and quantity of relationships in your life. If you're lonely, you have a consciousness of separation. If you're in toxic relationships, you have a consciousness of unworthiness. If you have deep connections, you have a consciousness of love. Here's the key. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Your relationships are mirrors of your consciousness. If you want different relationships, become a different consciousness. Stop trying to find the right person. Become the right consciousness. Here's what that means practically. If you want to attract love, you must become love. Not just feel loving toward others. Become a consciousness of love itself. Love yourself first. Love your life. Love your journey. Love your flaws. Love your past. Love your present. Love your future. When your consciousness is saturated with love, loving people are magnetically drawn to you. If you want to attract respect, you must become respect. Respect yourself. Respect your boundaries. Respect your values. Respect your time. When your consciousness embodies respect, respectful people appear naturally. If you want to attract success-minded people, you must become success-minded. When your consciousness is focused on growth, achievement, and contribution, you naturally magnetize people who share that consciousness. The universal key shows you that you're never looking for people. You're creating an internal consciousness that matches the external relationships you desire. Change your relationship consciousness, and your relationships transform instantly. The third door, changing your health consciousness, your body, is a manifestation of your consciousness. Every disease, every ailment, every symptom is your body communicating about your consciousness. Science is now proving what ancient wisdom always knew. Your thoughts affect your biology. Your beliefs influence your immune system. Your emotions impact your cellular health. When you hold consciousness of stress, your body manifests stress-related conditions. When you hold consciousness of peace, your body activates healing mechanisms. Here's the universal key applied to health. You don't have a sick body. You have a consciousness creating sickness. Change the consciousness, and the body must follow. I'm not saying illness isn't real. I'm saying it's a manifestation of consciousness, which means it can be transformed by consciousness. Here's how. Identify the consciousness behind your health issue. If you have chronic pain, what is your consciousness around struggle and burden? If you have digestive issues, what is your consciousness around processing and releasing? If you have heart problems, what is your consciousness around love and emotional safety? Every physical symptom has a consciousness component, not always the only component, but always a component. Second, create a new health consciousness. Instead of I am sick, shift to my body knows how to heal. Instead of this will never get better, shift to my body is constantly regenerating. Instead of I'm afraid of my symptoms, shift to I trust my body's intelligence. Third, feel the new consciousness as already true. Spend 10 minutes daily experiencing perfect health in your mind so vividly that your body begins to respond. Your cells are listening to your consciousness every moment. Give them a new message. The fourth door, changing your success consciousness. Success isn't about strategies. Success is about consciousness. Right now, you have a success consciousness. It's determining what level of success you're capable of achieving and sustaining. Most people have a consciousness of striving. They believe success requires endless effort, sacrifice, and struggle. And guess what they experience? Endless effort, sacrifice, and struggle. Some people have a consciousness of limitation. They believe there's only so much success available, and they probably won't get much of it. And their reality perfectly mirrors that belief. Rare people have a consciousness of inevitable success. They believe success is their natural state, and obstacles are just temporary illusions. And they achieve things that seem impossible to others. The universal key reveals that you're not trying to achieve success. You're trying to become a consciousness of success. Here's how. Stop asking, how do I succeed? Start asking, who do I need to become to be a consciousness of success? A consciousness of success is certain, not hopeful. Certain. It knows success is inevitable because it understands that consciousness creates reality. A consciousness of success is patient, not because it's waiting for external circumstances, but because it knows the internal shift is already creating the external result. A consciousness of success is focused, not scattered across 1,000 goals, singular in its intention. When you become this consciousness, success isn't something you chase, it's something you are. And being it, you automatically create it. Part 2. Mastering the Key, the Power Protocol. How to use the universal key daily. Now you understand the universal key. Everything is consciousness. Your reality is a perfect mirror of your consciousness. Change consciousness. Change reality. But understanding isn't enough. You need to master the application. Here's the Power Protocol, a daily practice that will make you too powerful. Every morning, follow these 5 steps. Step 1. Consciousness audit. Take 5 minutes to observe your current consciousness. What thoughts are dominant? What feelings are present? What beliefs are active? Don't judge, just observe. This creates awareness. Step 2. Consciousness design. Choose one area of life you want to transform: financial, relational, health, success, creative. Now design the consciousness that would create your desired reality in that area. What would that consciousness think? Feel? Believe? Know? Write it down. Step 3. Consciousness installation. Sit quietly for 10 minutes. Close your eyes. Experience yourself as already being that consciousness. Don't try to become it. Experience already being it. Feel it in your body. Think its thoughts. Hold its beliefs. Know what it knows. This is the key turning in the lock. Step 4. Consciousness protection. Throughout your day, notice when you slip back into old consciousness. When you catch yourself thinking lack, shift to abundance. When you catch yourself thinking limitation, shift to possibility. When you catch yourself thinking fear, shift to trust. Protect your new consciousness like a precious treasure. Step 5. Consciousness expansion. Before sleep, spend 5 minutes reviewing your day through the lens of your new consciousness. How did this consciousness show up today? Where did you embody it? Where did you forget it? What will you do tomorrow? This protocol, practiced daily for 90 days, will transform your consciousness so completely that your reality will have no choice but to transform with it. The danger of becoming too powerful. Here's what happens when you master the universal key. You become too powerful, and that creates challenges most people don't expect. First, people around you won't understand your transformation. You'll change rapidly. They'll change slowly or not at all. This creates distance. They'll say, "You've changed." And you have. You've changed your consciousness. And changing consciousness changes everything. Some relationships will end, not because you're better than anyone, but because you're no longer a match to certain energies. This is natural. Let it happen. Second, you'll outgrow systems that once contained you. Your job might feel suffocating. Your routines might feel limiting. Your environment might feel small, because your consciousness has expanded beyond these containers. You'll need to create new structures that match your new consciousness. This requires courage. Third, you'll face the responsibility of power. When you know that your consciousness creates your reality, you can no longer blame external circumstances. You can't complain about the economy. You can't blame your past. You can't make excuses. Everything is your consciousness made manifest. This is liberating and terrifying. You are fully responsible, fully powerful. Fourth, you'll be tested. The universe will test whether your new consciousness is stable. Old patterns will try to reassert. Unexpected challenges will appear. This isn't punishment, this is strengthening, like a muscle being tested to see if it's really strong. Your job is to maintain your consciousness regardless of external circumstances. This is mastery. Fifth, you'll become a threat to systems that profit from your limitation. The economy needs consumers. The medical system needs patients. The education system needs compliant workers. When you become a powerful consciousness, you stop fitting into these boxes. You create your own economy. You take responsibility for your health. You educate yourself. Systems that relied on your limitation will resist your expansion. Expect it. And here's the most important warning. You cannot unknow this. Once you understand that everything is consciousness, you can never go back to believing you're a victim of circumstances. You can never again pretend you're powerless. You will be responsible for your life completely. This is what makes you too powerful, and why most people will never seek this key. They prefer the comfort of limitation to the responsibility of power. The consciousness shift that changes everything. There's one consciousness shift that once made unlocks everything else instantly. It's the shift from I am in the world to the world is in me. Read that again. Most people believe they are small beings in a vast world. They think they're separate from circumstances, affected by external forces, at the mercy of conditions beyond their control. This consciousness creates a reality of limitation, struggle, and powerlessness. The universal key reveals the opposite truth. The world is in you. Everything you experience exists in your consciousness. Your finances exist in your consciousness. Your relationships exist in your consciousness. Your health exists in your consciousness. Your entire reality exists nowhere but in your consciousness. Right now, you're not in a room reading this. Your consciousness contains the experience of a room. You're not in a world with other people. Your consciousness contains the experience of other people. You're not in circumstances you didn't create. Your consciousness is creating every circumstance you experience. This isn't solipsism. This isn't denying objective reality. This is understanding that your experience of reality happens entirely within consciousness. And experience is all that matters. When you make this shift, everything changes. If the world is in you, you're not looking for opportunities. You're creating them from within. If the world is in you, you're not trying to change external circumstances. You're shifting internal consciousness, which automatically manifests as changed circumstances. If the world is in you, you're not at the mercy of anything. You are the source of everything. This is the consciousness that makes you too powerful. Here's how to make this shift. Every time you experience something you don't like, instead of saying, that shouldn't be happening, say, my consciousness is creating this experience. What in my consciousness needs to shift? Every time you want something external to change, instead of saying, "How do I change that?" say, "What consciousness do I need to become for that to change naturally?" Every time you feel powerless, instead of saying, "I can't control this," say, "My consciousness is the source of this experience. What do I want to create instead?" This shift from "I am in the world" to "the world is in me" is the moment you stop being a victim and become a creator. This is the moment you become too powerful. The ultimate test: can you hold the consciousness when everything collapses? Here's the real test of mastery. Anyone can hold a consciousness of abundance when money is flowing. Anyone can hold a consciousness of health when feeling good. Anyone can hold a consciousness of success when things are working. The ultimate test is this: can you hold your chosen consciousness when everything in your external reality contradicts it? Can you hold a consciousness of abundance when your bank account is empty? Can you hold a consciousness of health when your body is in pain? Can you hold a consciousness of success when you just failed? This is where most people fail. They let external circumstances dictate internal consciousness. When things go wrong externally, they shift to consciousness of fear, lack, limitation, and in doing so, they create more external circumstances that match fear, lack, and limitation. The master does the opposite. When external reality contradicts internal consciousness, the master doesn't change consciousness to match reality. The master holds consciousness steady, knowing reality must eventually match consciousness. This is faith. Not religious faith, mechanical faith. Faith in the law that consciousness creates reality. If you can hold consciousness of wealth while broke, wealth must manifest. If you can hold consciousness of health while sick, health must emerge. If you can hold consciousness of success while failing, success must appear. Because everything is consciousness. And reality always, eventually, perfectly mirrors consciousness. This is the ultimate expression of being too powerful. The ability to hold your consciousness regardless of circumstances. Most people will never develop this ability. They'll let circumstances control consciousness their entire lives. But you're not most people. You have the universal key. Use it. Part 3. The Transformation, the 30-Day Power Emergence Protocol. You now understand the universal key. Everything is consciousness. You're not in the world is in you. Your consciousness creates your reality with perfect precision. Now you need to live this truth for 30 days and watch your reality transform. Here's the protocol that will make you too powerful. Week 1. Consciousness awakening. Every morning spend 15 minutes in silence. No phone, no distractions, just awareness. Ask yourself, what consciousness am I right now? Not what am I thinking. What consciousness am I being? Throughout the day, notice your consciousness shifting. When you feel contracted, you're in victim consciousness. When you feel expansive, you're in creator consciousness. Just notice. Don't judge. This week is about awareness. By day 7, you'll be amazed at how unconscious you've been. Week 2. Consciousness selection. Now that you're aware of your consciousness, you can choose it. Each morning, decide what consciousness you're going to be today. A consciousness of abundance, a consciousness of love, a consciousness of power, a consciousness of peace. Choose one. Then, throughout the day, practice being that consciousness. When circumstances contradict it, don't change your consciousness. Hold it steady. By day 14, you'll notice circumstances beginning to shift to match your chosen consciousness. Week 3. Consciousness stabilization. This week, old patterns will try to reclaim you. Unexpected challenges will appear. Old relationships will trigger old consciousness. This is the test. Your job is to remain stable in your chosen consciousness no matter what happens externally. When someone treats you poorly, hold consciousness of love. When money gets tight, hold consciousness of abundance. When you feel tired, hold consciousness of vitality. By day 21, your consciousness will be significantly more stable than it was. Week 4. Consciousness expansion. This final week is about taking your consciousness to the next level. Whatever consciousness you've been practicing, expand it. If you've been practicing abundance consciousness, expand to consciousness of infinite abundance. If you've been practicing love consciousness, expand to consciousness of unconditional love. If you've been practicing power consciousness, expand to consciousness of unlimited power. Push the boundaries of what you thought possible. By day 30, you will be a completely different consciousness than you were on day 1, and your reality, inevitably, will have begun transforming to match. The proof: when you know you've become too powerful, how will you know when you've successfully applied the universal key? When you've become too powerful. Here are the signs. First, synchronicities become normal. You think of someone, they text you. You need something, it appears. You have a question, the answer shows up. This isn't luck. This is consciousness organizing reality. Second, people start asking what changed about you. They can't articulate it, but they sense you're different, more confident, more magnetic, more certain. They're sensing your transformed consciousness. Third, opportunities appear that didn't exist before. Job offers, business ideas, relationship possibilities, investment opportunities. These aren't coincidences. Your consciousness is attracting matching circumstances. Fourth, you stop worrying about how. You know what you want. You set the consciousness. You trust the manifestation. You don't need to micromanage the universe. This is real power. Fifth, obstacles don't disturb you anymore. When challenges appear, you see them as temporary illusions that your consciousness will transform. You remain stable. This is mastery. Sixth, your old life feels foreign. You can barely remember being the person you were 30 days ago. That person lived in a different consciousness, a different reality. You've transformed. Seventh, you feel slightly dangerous, not to others, but to the old systems that kept you small. You don't fit in the old boxes anymore. You've outgrown them. This is when you know you've become too powerful, and there's no going back. The warning: they will try to take your key away. Here's what will happen once you become powerful. The world will try to take your key away, not because the world is evil, but because the world runs on systems, and systems require predictability. When you become a powerful consciousness, you become unpredictable, dangerous to systems. Society will tell you to be realistic. That's code for lower your consciousness to match collective limitations. The economy will tell you to be practical. That's code for accept scarcity consciousness. The news will tell you to be worried. That's code for adopt fear consciousness. Your family might tell you to be careful. That's code for don't expand beyond us. Your friends might tell you you've changed. That's code for come back to our level of consciousness. None of this is malicious. It's unconscious. People want you to remain at their level of consciousness because your expansion makes them uncomfortable. It reminds them they could change too, but they're choosing not to. Here's what you do. Protect your key. Don't let anyone talk you out of your consciousness. Don't let circumstances convince you to lower your vibration. Don't let fear make you forget your power. The universal key is yours now. Use it, protect it, master it, and become too powerful for the old world to contain. You now possess the universal key. the one key that opens every door, the one truth that solves every problem. Everything is consciousness. Your financial reality is consciousness made manifest. Your relationships are consciousness made manifest. Your health is consciousness made manifest. Your entire life is consciousness made manifest. Change your consciousness, and your reality must change. Not might, must. This is law. For the next 30 days, live from this truth. Choose your consciousness deliberately. Hold it steady regardless of circumstances. Watch as your reality transforms to match. You will become too powerful. Your relationships will transform. Your finances will explode. Your health will optimize. Your creativity will flow. Your purpose will become crystal clear. People will look at you and wonder what you know that they don't. This is what you know. The universal key. Everything is consciousness. And you are the consciousness creating everything. Use this key wisely. Use it boldly. Use it consistently. And watch as every locked door in your life swings open. If this video awakens something in you, save it. You'll need to return to it as you transform. Share it with someone ready to become powerful. And commit publicly. Comment below, I claim the universal key. 30 days from now, you'll be unrecognizable because you'll have become too powerful for your old reality to contain. The universal key is yours. Now go unlock everything.